Well, good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us for DCC Today. As you can tell, I am not in Sequim right now. In fact, we are in Death Valley, California. Burnett and I have been on vacation the past couple of weeks. We're on our way home, and we decided to go home via Death Valley. Our photo for today comes from another desert area that we visited while we were out traveling these last couple of weeks, and that is from Joshua Tree National Park. And here's a photo that I took in Joshua Tree. I was focusing on just kind of the interesting, pretty colors in all of that desert brush. But when I got the photo up on a bigger screen where I could look at it, I discovered a little surprise visitor. If you look carefully on the right-hand side of the picture, you'll see the little guest that snuck into this photo. So that was kind of a fun discovery. Hey, how about some announcements? First, I'd like to say a big thank you to Pastor Sean and Britt for hosting DCC Today these past couple of weeks. Guys, you may have found a new calling. Thank you very much for doing it. I also want to thank those gentlemen that have been filling the pulpit for me on Sundays. George Crabb, one of our elders. George, thank you. Great job. Brad Franklin, who spoke to us from the Elisha Foundation. What a great ministry they have. And then, of course, this Sunday we've got Dan Stevenson. Just had Dan Stevenson speak and share his experience and what it means to be a transfigured follower of Christ. So thank you all for doing such a wonderful job, and I hope you all have been blessed with what they had to share. Coming up, this coming Sunday, I'm going to start a new sermon series, and this seemed like the perfect place to talk about it. We are just a few miles away from the lowest point in the continental United States here in Death Valley. And we're going to start taking a look at the book of Job. And if Job was going to pick a landscape to depict his life journey, I think that Death Valley might have been it. God allowed Job to go through deep, deep trial where it seemed like everything was stripped away. And this Sunday, we're going to take a look at Job for the next few weeks and just see what we can learn from this amazing story in the book of Job. Coming up, starting on October 27th, that Tuesday night, or Thursday mornings, October 29th, our women's group has their new study series beginning, and it's something taught by Andy Stanley called Are You Prepared? It's a 3-part series, and the point is to prepare people to respond quickly and respectfully to the questions that may come up about our faith, about Christianity. So ladies, if you'd like to be involved in that study, either joining them in person or online, they offer it as a Zoom study as well, just contact the church office and or go to our website, dcchurch.org, and there's a banner you can click on to register for that study. Like I said, any problems with that, contact the church office and they can get you signed up for that as well. Speaking of the church office, we are accepting applications right now for a new assistant secretary position. It's 32 hours a week. If you would be interested or know someone who is, please have them contact Colleen at the church office. You can email her at colleen@dcchurch.org or call the office number 360-683-7333. We are collecting those applications right now and hope that the Lord will lead us to the right person for that job very soon. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, Living Water International. This is a fitting place to talk about Living Water International. Out here, you realize how desperately important good drinking water is. And, you know, there are many places in the world, millions of people that do not have access to good drinking water. Not only that, they have not yet found the living water of Jesus Christ. Living Water International is a ministry that we have partnered with for a number of years that seeks to provide both of those things. And they just had their 30-year gala. It was an online event last Thursday. I hope you had a chance to tune into it. And as part of celebrating their 30-year anniversary, they are raising money to put in more wells, to share the gospel with more people. And we set a goal of $3,000 as a church to help them with that goal. If you haven't given yet, you can go to our website, dcchurch.org, and you can, I believe there's a banner there still. If not, click on the donate link, and you'll see it on the drop-down menu where you can donate to Living Water International. Also, we've got the mugs, those new DCC mugs that came out in the gift bags a few weeks ago. Some of you have been asking how you could buy another one, and we do have extras. And what we decided to do is all the money that we raise from selling those extra mugs, we're going to give it to Living Water International. And so if you would like to get a mug and give to Living Water International, you can do that for a minimum donation of $25 or more, and all of that will go to support their ministry. Speaking of mugs, we've been having people send in mug shots, pictures of you with your mug in interesting places. And if you haven't done that yet, you need to get that to us by October 21st. On October 21st, we're going to have a drawing, and 5 people who have sent in their mug shots are each going to win a coffee card, so they have something to put in their mug. So you can either text those pictures to the church office, just use the office number 360-683-7333, or email them to info@dcchurch.org. And we actually got a second mugshot from someone this week. George Reagan had already sent us one mugshot, but he sent another, and I just have to share this with you. This picture, I guess we could call it mug versus pug. Now, if you look at this picture closely, you're going to realize that either there's a little photo trickery going on. I think that George maybe set the mug in front of a large picture of a pug. Either that, or George owns the largest pug I have ever seen. I mean, this thing must be the size of a St. Bernard. Look at the size of the head compared to the mug. Either way, that's a hysterical picture, George. Thanks for sending it in, and the rest of you, I hope you'll send in your mug shots as well. Well, how about a devotional thought for today? This comes out of Psalm 63, the first 2 verses, and then we're going to jump down to verse 7. This seemed so appropriate for where we are right now. It says, "O God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh faints for you, as in a dry and weary land where there is no water." But David doesn't stop there. He goes on to talk about how God has met him in that dry, weary place. And down in verse 7, he says this, "You have been my help, and in the shadow of your wings, I will sing for joy." As you're out here, the one thing you're looking for is shade, someplace to get out of the hot sun. And David pictures this desert quail with her little brood of chicks, gathering them together and sheltering them under her wings, giving them that shade. He says, "God, that's what you've been for me. At times when my soul was dry and parched, you have sheltered me." And that would be my prayer for you. If your soul is in a dry and desert place, that you would run to your Father, that you'd find his shelter, that you'd find his shade, and that you'd be able to sing for joy in that place. Well, let's do an interview. Jennifer, I bet you're in a cooler place than I am. Who is our guest for today?
Hello, everyone. Our guest today on DCC Today is Stephen Rosales, and he is here to share with us about his affiliation with the Sequim Food Bank and the local Boys and Girls Club, and he is involved with both of those, and he is the husband of Kim Rosales, and so he's going to share with us a little bit about that. So Stephen, I was just going to talk to you first about the Sequim Food Bank, and how has it been running during the quarantine time?
It's been running pretty smoothly. Our numbers are holding pretty steady. We haven't been overwhelmed like most other food banks, but they're holding steady, and it's going pretty good. We got a great executive director in Andrew Smith, so she does a really good job. And we got just wonderful volunteers. Got some from DCC, Arlene and a few others, and Mary, who both go to DCC. And we got Sequim Community and Seventh-day Adventist. And just the churches have really risen to the occasion during this deal. Is helping us with volunteers.
Great. And so are you still operating during your normal operating hours, or have they changed at all?
No, they're the same. They're Friday from 9 to 12, Saturday 9 to 12, which we're proud of because Saturdays is run totally by kids. They're all the high school kids. We have about 10 that run the program on Saturdays. They from checking in to putting the food out to restocking the shelves. It's been a great program. We started about 10 years ago, and we've had a lot of kids that have gone through the system and now that after they've graduated from college, they'll come back and work on a Saturday, or if it's spring break, they'll come back or work on a Saturday. But we feel we're the only food bank in the nation that's probably run by kids. So we're pretty proud of that program. And then Mondays, we do the afternoons from 1 to 4.
Okay.
So if there are any DCC kids who would like to come work on Saturday, have them give me a call. We'd love to have them.
Oh, great. Is there a certain age range that you prefer for the kids that help?
Middle school and up.
Okay, perfect. And so tell me, is the food bank accepting any food donations yet, or is that still no?
It's still, the only thing we take is produce. We're always open to produce, but we're not taking any canned goods and stuff. And one being the COVID, that you have to quarantine it for a couple of days. Secondly, we don't have the space. It's a good problem to have, because right now the federal government and other agencies are really distributing a lot of food. So we're getting a lot. We have more food than we've ever had. So people, when they come in, get a lot of food. So first of all, we don't have the space, and secondly, we'd have to quarantine for a few days. So we had to cut off taking donations right now.
Excellent. Well, and I am going to ask next about the Boys and Girls Club, because you're also involved with that as well. So maybe tell me about how that's been operating during quarantine time. What have you guys been doing?
We went to is a cap of about 50 kids, and we've taken kids that are first responder or healthcare worker kids, are the first kids to get a right to come. And we start at 8 o'clock in the morning and go to 6 o'clock at night. And we average about 50 kids a day. And we're spacing them out, and they're wearing masks, and they're social distancing, and they're washing their hands. And it's pretty interesting the way they've done it. But Mary Butke, both the Boys and Girls Club and the Food Bank have probably the two best executive directors for nonprofits anywhere in the state, just great people. And I've done a really good job of getting the kids in and keeping them safe.
And what are your typical numbers at the club when without, like, what's the difference in the normal number of kids?
Normal school day at 2 o'clock, we have about 2:30 to 2:45, we have about 300 to 350 kids in here.
Okay.
We actually, every day, I'm the bus driver for that, bring over almost 100 kids from Grey Wolf every day. When they're normally here, we have computer labs, we have homework half hour or an hour where they stop and make all the kids do homework. They get a meal when they get here. There's outdoor. We have a new playground. I don't know, it's probably in the paper recently, but we have a new playground on the west side of the building. We no longer have to use the Helen Haller playground if we don't want to. And again, there's computer labs, there's math room, there's arts rooms, there's just all kinds of different programs. There's programs for tweens, which are, 11 and 12-year-olds, programs for teens, which goes to 13 on higher. There's kids club, there's boys to men, there's girls clubs. I mean, just all interesting stuff, and geared towards specific group of kids. They're not just all thrown together and say, do this. They actually specifically have different events for different age groups.
Mm-hmm. And so right now, I'm assuming everything that normally would be running is kind of on hold until they up the phases. Are you guys just watching the kids for first responders then right now?
Yeah, first responders and healthcare workers. And they're actually just started yesterday. They have homework time here where they're helping the kids get online and do their schoolwork.
Oh, okay. So they can provide assistance with that.
We're having tutors come in and stuff like that to work with the kids, because it's pretty difficult for a lot of these kids to get on a computer and spend all that time and learn the different things. They're really missing the one-on-one interaction with the teachers. That's the sad part.
Yeah. So is there kind of a sign up for kids then if they want to come and do tutoring?
There's actually a waiting list now, because we're pretty full.
Okay.
If they'd call up here and talk to me or Tessa or somebody like that and get them on a waiting list. Tessa Jackson has just been named the new unit director. Dave Miller, which a lot of people have known for years, great guy, retired. So Tessa Jackson is now the unit director. She's great too. She'll step right in, and we won't miss a beat.
Okay. So is that kind of what's going to be going on for the fall then? Is that kind of a program, or is there anything else that you guys are going to be doing?
Pretty much through the fall.
Yeah.
Unless some miracle happens and, the governor decides someday we can have everybody back together, then until then, we got to make sure we protect the health of our kids and everybody.
Right. Absolutely. And do you guys have a need for volunteers at the club at this time?
somebody wants to come down tutor, they're a specialist in math or literature or English or, the 4 R's or whatever it is, reading, writing, arithmetic, and they want to call down and get involved, we are always looking for tutors.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about both of those places.
Yeah, actually, I don't know, a lot of people there probably know about the TLC preschool, which
Yes, because Donna Culver was a huge part of that. Yeah.
And then my wife took it
And your
over.
wife. Yes. Okay.
Now they had to move out of the Thrive Church. It's now at the Boys and Girls Club.
So it is at the Boys and Girls Club.
It is at the Boys and Girls, and they're only taking 4-year-olds this year. And I know they have about 5 or 6 openings. If someone has a 4-year-old over there that wants to go send their kid to preschool, it's actually called Great Futures Preschool now, and Kim's running it, and I know she has some openings on it.
Okay. And what time of day is the
It
program?
runs on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to noon.
Okay, wonderful.
It's
I
a
wasn't
great
sure if
program.
that had gotten started up yet or not, so that's great.
Yeah.
It's another outlet.
It'll start this Tuesday. Coming Tuesday.
Great. Thank you for sharing
Yeah,
that.
if anybody wants they got a 4-year-old they want to put in, to just give Kim a call, Kim Rosales.
Okay.
And,
We'll
I
put
know she has
contact.
Go ahead.
Oh, I said we can put some contact information up in this interview too, so I'll get that from you. Perfect. Well, Stephen, thanks for sharing a little bit about both of those and giving us an update. And I'm just going to give us a quick closing in prayer before we go out today. Okay?
Okay. I want to thank everybody at DCC. Like I said, we've had a lot of great volunteers from DCC, always been very supportive. And we have Jenny and Josh Forberg's son actually is an employee of the food bank now.
Yes.
And he's a hardworking young man. So we love having him.
Wonderful. Well, the work you do is amazing. And I know a lot of people just are happy to support it. So thank you.
Good. Thank you guys.
Okay. All right. I'm going to just close us out in prayer. Father God, thank you so much for this time when we can share some ministries that are helping our community. And thank you for Stephen and his willingness to just be such a leader in this community and to be there for the kids and to take on this new preschool now at the Boys and Girls Club. It's just amazing how you just open up the doors for these things. And we just thank you so much for all of the people that work there, the volunteers and the paid staff at both of those places, Lord. Thank you for those services that help our community. And just thank you for who you are. And I pray this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Stephen.
All right. Have a good day.
Hey, thanks for joining us. I trust you have a great week ahead of you. Burnett and I are going to jump back in the truck where the air conditioning is and keep heading for home. And we'll be back here with you Wednesday morning for DCC Today. And until then, God bless.